I'm checking something here. Hang on. Good morning. It's Friday, June 26th, 2026. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Qigong. This session is focused on learning the sets. This is for the student who is, for the most part, just starting out and just getting acquainted with Qigong practice and what we're doing. I have a cat. It's not as bad as it looks. It's just a little bit, but it doesn't look pretty, so I wrapped it. That happens. In Qigong practice, we want to pay attention to all of the things that are going on, particularly with the breath and with the external breath and the internal breath. I talk about this idea of the external breath as the focus of our breathing. This is the lungs, the diaphragm, all of the muscles and tendons, ligaments, all of the components, for lack of a better way to say it, all of the systems that support our ability to breathe. There are quite a few of them, actually. It extends further than that, but at the beginning, we particularly want to focus on this idea of breathing in, breathing out, coordinating the breath and the movement so that the movement and the breath become tightly intertwined, that we naturally breathe in a certain pattern, in a certain way with the movements. That connection is what we want to develop first. As we develop that connection, we make progress. And I'll talk a little bit more about how to encourage that progress in tomorrow's session for the teacher. Okay, today we're going to pay attention to set 6. I'm going through each of the sets, so I'm going to work through all 18 sets in this series. Then I'll work on something else as we develop, right? We start out in set 1, feet about shoulder width apart. Ladies, right hand on the outside, gentlemen, left hand on the outside. Breathe in, breathe out, connect the breath, breathe in again, breathe out. As we do the movement, this very simple, up to the middle Tantien and down to the lower Tantien, breathe in, both hands pull up, elbows stay down, it's not up here, right? Shoulders are down. We develop that basic skill. In set 2, we're still stationary. We're developing a little bit more the leg strength as we push out, as we bend. In set 3, opening. I'm opening the arms, right? That sense of rising and lowering, with the emphasis on rising. In set 4, as I change direction, right? Still have that sense of rising and lowering, but here the emphasis is on lowering. Aufregung, lowering. In set 5, we use all of that, right? Press up and turn 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come back to center. That twisting is part of what we want to develop as we're moving. That turning and twisting, centering in the lower Tantien, right here. The 2 fingers-ish below the navel, this area, it's a region, it's not a tiny little point. Okay, so you want to think of the lower dantian as a very small ball that sits inside, and you can do things with it. You can spin it, and it's actually a two-part ball. As my teacher Liu Zhang taught, in the lower dantian, there are two swimming fish, yin and yang. They swim together. They are always connected with each other. Sometimes yang is more, sometimes yin is more. As they move together, so the body moves. The lower dantian turns the waist turns the body. That connection is part of what we want to develop. At the very beginning, just being able to connect the breath and the movement is part of the challenge. As we gain facility with the movement, paying attention to the inner movement, this outer movement, outer breath, inner breath, that concept that we have both the physical body, I've got muscles, tendons, ligaments, joints, internal organs, internal systems, my cardiovascular system, my nervous system. Those are physical things. They exist. They can be touched. We know how to do that. 300 years ago, we didn't. In Qigong, we have the internal breath, the Qi. We have the internal circulation through the channels and meridians. We know the channels and meridians exist because they've been documented for 3,000 years. This is how we know that they exist. This is a system that was developed, and the understanding of that system depends on recognizing that we do have that internal body that we can use, we can work with. There's connections to things that aren't part of the physical body. And we work with that. We depend on that. It's not the same as something that is my personal belief. It's been used by medical practitioners for 3,000 years. There's a lot of documentation. It's not something that I made up. And the correlations that have been developed and documented, again, this goes back well beyond what we have in modern Western medicine. The combination of both the traditional Chinese medicine, the traditional practices, traditional development of the human body, the human condition, what we can do, how we can do it, combined with modern medicine. I personally think that modern medicine is really good. I'm not going to discount what we have in Qigong. I'm teaching it. I practice it. But I'm also not going to discount what we have in science and physical medicine. There are all sorts of things that we have that we didn't used to have. 3,000 years ago, we did not have vaccines. People just got sick and died. Maybe there's a treatment, maybe there's not. Today we have vaccines. We don't have to get sick. Mostly. There's some things that we don't have vaccines for. We can't deal with it. But we have preventive measures. This is something else that Qigong offers us. that a lot of folks just think, I'm going to do this exercise, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Qigong offers us the side benefit of being preventive. We develop our breathing, the physical breath, we develop that physical breath. We gain an advantage in being able to develop the breath as we develop our breathing and deepen our breathing. All of the body systems, all of the cardiovascular and lymphatic systems, all of the nervous system that depend on the breath benefit. We improve our own, for lack of a better way to say it, our own health baseline. So I'm relatively healthy. I practice Qigong. I'm healthier. I have more stamina. I have more resistance to disease. It's preventive. There is some curative. It can help with alleviating some symptoms. It can. You're having trouble with your breathing and you practice breathing, you will develop better breathing. It's inevitable. It's a physical inevitability. That practice is how you do it. It's not this Qigong is this or this Qigong is that. It's the practice. It's the practice. Today's session, I'm covering, besides all of that, I'm covering set 6. Okay, so I just gave that introduction through sets 1 through 5. In set 6, we want to apply, and this is part of why I'm talking about all of the internal work. We start at the beginning, set 1, develop some understanding of the skills that we're working on, develop some understanding of the breath work, develop some understanding of the body work, and we're going to continue that with set 6. Yin and yang both appear. As I turn this both sides, and I'm going to talk about this, as I turn to both sides, I'm not using a very big movement here. The movement is push. In Tai Chi, it's ward off. In Qigong, we want that same feeling. This is, and think back to set 2, pushing the mountain. I stand still and I push. Here I'm moving and I push out. And then pull in and come back to center. I talked about this with this whole idea of development. I could start with this exercise. I could. But all of the connections and all of the workmanship, all of the gongfu, that has been developed in the first 5 sets wouldn't be available. Wouldn't. The concept of left side, right side, where I'm going to go turn around while we do this because we're starting on the left side, I wouldn't be there either. That progression is something that the beginning student needs to understand exists. They don't have to understand all, and they're not going to. They're not going to understand all of the details, all of the particulars, all of the little things. Connect the breath. Breathe. Regular deep breathing, using the whole body, connecting the breath with the movement, coordinating the movement so that it's smooth, relaxed, controlled. It's not whatever I'm doing, and it's whatever I do. You know, hey, I can wave my hands, I can do whatever. No, no, it's not what we're doing. This has a particular focus. It has a particular group of muscles that we're using. The same here. It's not this. It's not this. Right? Those may be fine movements. If you want to practice those movements, that's great. But that's not this exercise. This exercise has particular movements and it has particular requirements. We pay attention to those movements. We pay attention to those requirements because that's how we build anything. We can't build on imbalance. If I'm going to use this for an example just because I'm talking about beginning level, right? As I turn here, right? So my hands come up to here. This is wrong. This is wrong. Okay? My hands come down to here. This is also wrong. And I shift turn, and then I put my hands back to my chest right here, and I push out. All of that was completely wrong. All of that was completely wrong. No. No. Why? I could stand here and tell you, and I would say, that was awful. Why? As my hands come up here, notice where my shoulders are. Notice where my elbows are. Notice my body alignment. My hands come up level with my chest to the same level as the middle tantien. They're connected. As the hands press down and turn over, that same idea pushing down through both sides. So my sides aren't over here. It's over here, right? And over here, so look where my elbows are. Okay. Body alignment, right? Press down. My elbows don't go out. They stay. My arms are open. I still have space, right? Lower tantien. It's not down here. It's not over here. It's lower tantien. That connection is essential for practice. So, beginning student, whatever I do is fine. No, whatever is not fine. You won't be able to connect through the center channel, the ren line, and you won't be able to connect through the lao gong to the middle tantien and to the lower tantien if your body is not in good alignment. Your body will not be able to relax if it's not in good alignment. As I shift here, my weight's on my right, turn on the heel. We have to pay attention to that. The next set, we turn on the toe. Turn on the heel. My toes up. As I push out, there's a circle here. Push. And pull back. And that body alignment that I was talking about, my hands aren't up here. It's not down here. It's not out here. Not over here. It's here. Within my frame. Elbows down. Push. Pull in. This same connection through the heart channel as with set 2 in pushing the mountain. Each time as we're breathing, we want to pay attention to the idea of yin and yang. This is the name of the exercise, yin and yang, liang yi. Yin and yang both appear. Left side yin, right side yang. Paying attention to the breath, paying attention to the connection with the movement, and then developing the sense of inner circulation. It's the first step. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Hands at your sides. Pull up through the crown of the head. Wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Settle into the heels. Bend the knees. Pull up through the ball of the foot, the Yong Chuan. Pull up through the front. Pull the abs in. Relax through the shoulders. Smile. Breathe in. Both hands up. Breathe out. Press down. Sink. Shift onto the right. Both hands come back to center. And push. Palms turn over. Pull in. Turn to center. Press down. Shift left. On the heel. Push right. Pull in. Center. Shift right. Turn left. Push out. Pull in. Center. Shift left. Turn right. Push out. Pull in. Center. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. Relax through the body. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Pull in. Center. 2 more. Extend. Not too far. Not too little. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. Last time. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. Hands down along both sides. Breathe out. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. As I am shifting sides, as I was practicing, the first 3 sets were basic. They were correct. They were coordinated. They were okay. Then I started paying attention to my breath in the sets. That's what I intended to do. The first part is learning the movement. If your movement is not coordinated, if you don't know what to do, you can't do the movement in a coordinated fashion. So the first thing is you have to learn the movement, right? This is what I'm doing. I'm going to shift my weight. I'm going to turn. I'm going to, that's right. Position and placement matter. I talked about that quite a bit. And I'll talk about it a lot more tomorrow. That sense of this is what this movement does. This is what I'm doing in this movement. Matters. The student has to know that. This is what I'm doing. Is it correct? Is it not correct? I talked about that. Hands up here, no. Not for this set. For this one is fine, right? But notice here as I press up, notice where my hands are. Sink down a little bit so you can see where my hands are. Notice where my hands are. It's not out here. It's not over here. Right? It's not like this. Not like this. It's here. Push up. There's an application that goes with that in Tai Chi, so there's a martial application. Yeah, it is. That sense of what am I doing in this movement? Breathe in, breathe out, shift, push. Okay? Hands come up, hands go down, shift, push, come back, center. That's basic. It was correct, but a lot of things are incomplete. But it's correct. If you're just learning, I'm okay with that. Do that. It's fine. As we progress, adding the breath, extending the breath, extending the movement, using the breath through the movement is what we want to be able to do. And that's what I was doing with the last 3 sets. That extension and really connecting with the physical breath and the internal breath is the goal. We want to make those connections. Once we develop those connections, we can do more. That progression, again, that progression is something that in my own study, I have found incredibly important to understand. That my understanding today may be incomplete. What I know about Qigong may be incomplete today. I've studied for a long time, but there's still things that I could learn. There's a lot more I could learn. My level of knowledge could always be improved. There's never going to be a time when I can't learn more. That's the way it goes. That sense that it's not a finite thing. This exercise is a finite thing. You can learn this exercise in, all of the exercises in a few months. And with practice, you will have benefit. There will be a benefit to you in better health, better movement facility, more energy generally in all your other life things, and a greater sense of confidence and internal peacefulness. So I feel comfortable with myself. I feel confident in myself. I can do these things. I feel pretty good. That's really one of the goals. Getting to that point. As we develop, we discover that there's always going to be something. That's what's kept me going. And that's one of the things that I want to make sure is included in my teaching, that there's always more to learn. There's always something more. What we can do today, if we're practicing, is not going to be the same as what we can do tomorrow. We will develop skills. That development isn't instant. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes correct practice, and it takes the understanding that through practice, we are going to develop more than what we may have expected. and that the process of developing those skills is part of how we actually develop them. It's not go here, hit the bag, and you're done. I can do reasonably good straight punch. Okay. To get good at it, I have to repeat that. I have to do it more than once. The more we practice, the better we get. The better we get at what? Whatever it is we're practicing. In Qigong practice, the inner and outer connections, the breath circulating fully through the body, the breathing in, breathing out, respiratory system fully functional, connecting with the other physical systems to give us natural. It's not, there's not magic, it's natural. Naturally better health. Because we're working those systems to promote their positive function. That's been the goal of Qigong practice for the 3,000 years that I know of. I read a lot. And it's one of the goals of modern medicine as well. We want to promote good health. We don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick and have to figure out how to get better. I want to not get sick in the first place. How do we do that? Prevention. Some of it is diet and exercise. In Qigong practice, it's a different kind of exercise that is more complicated than some basic calisthenics, and it also has greater benefit than some basic calisthenics because we work at it. It's part of the practice. Thank you for being here this morning. I will be back tomorrow with a teacher's class. Bye.